Today we are celebrating Austin Michael, our outgoing Director of Technology. So it seems appropriate then that as we talk about the ministries here at Paris, that we should share about the technology ministries that we have, how they've grown over the years, how our tithes and offerings help propel that ministry, and what Austin would see as he's leaving, kind of as his legacy and as opportunities of growth in this ministry. So Austin, I am glad to be sitting across from you to hear about this ministry, but at the same time, sorry that this will be one of the last times that I'll be able to do this with you on staff. So tell me about how you got involved.
Yeah, so I'd say it was about 7th grade whenever I was working on, we did a Christmas Eve video at the time, and Pastor Tina had asked, or we were talking on the way there, and she had asked, hey, do you know anything about video editing? And I knew very little at the time, and so I told her what I knew, and she was like, well, maybe you can help me sit down because we're recording all this, but I have no one to edit it. And so I was like, well, we'll try. So we did. We sat down for a couple evenings and spent multiple hours throwing it together. And it happened. It worked. Whether or not it was, the greatest production quality ever, that's for somebody else to decide. But after that, she was like, well, you have this love for technology and this gift, so would you be interested in helping out with the tech team stuff? And it just started from there.
Okay. Now, tell me about what the tech team looks like now.
Initially, whenever I started on tech, we had a computer that did the presentation software. So we had lyrics on screen, and then we had a sound system that was sitting there, but nobody knew how to run it. It was one of those things, you said it, you didn't touch it, nobody was allowed to touch it. And so it was just that. We had a schedule just for somebody to come in and run, presentation. But throughout the years right before COVID, we started doing the live streaming with just a one single camera and a computer in the back, and then we eventually upgraded the sound system to a digital sound system and started teaching a couple people that, and it's grew ever since to now we have a full team that we have a presentation operator, as we have a sound operator, which is just as important, but then we also have a camera operator and a producer that works every single Sunday to make sure that we have a broadcast that goes out to all over the world.
Awesome. Now, it's not just Sunday mornings, though. Tell me about the other parts of the ministry that happen during the week that maybe people don't realize.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of them is what you're watching right now, right? For this video is one of our, one of the things that we get to do that a lot of churches don't get to do. And that's just creating videos like, the welcome video that we saw at the beginning of the service and things like that. But also we get an opportunity to share that in other places, whether that be with, a lot of the students that come in to the church or from the school. And so they get to take those gifts and not only do the technology at the school, but also get to talk about what they do here. And I think that's a really cool opportunity that we have.
Yeah. When you mentioned the students that are coming in through the high school, our vision statement is to be the church where the excitement of following Jesus Christ leads to spiritual growth. Tell me about some of the spiritual growth that you've seen on your team just since you've been a director.
I can speak for myself and how much I've grown within leadership and just the opportunity here to just dive into God's word and then take that, and I've gotten to preach here and share what God has taught me. But also I get to see these young and older people who come in with this heart for God, and some of them come in not even knowing God, and they leave knowing something, even if that's not everything he's ever said, but at least something, so that they can learn to have a relationship with him. And just the opportunity I see, I have a couple friends who are soon to get baptized just from the work that they've seen, and I'm so excited for it.
Yeah, it really is I've described you as the Pied Piper of, you meet the youth in the musical, they get excited about working on the tech team, this is another opportunity for them, and so they're learning life skills, but they're also learning spiritual life skills, which is really exciting to watch.
Absolutely.
What are your hopes and dreams as you leave, as Baker comes on, Big Baker comes on to take the role, what are hopes and dreams that you have?
Yeah, coming into this year, a lot of our goals were continuity based and intentionality based. Just making sure that we did everything for a reason. And obviously, that reason is now to glorify God. I think moving forward, I'd want to see that happen and just continue to glorify God for everything we're doing. And I think just, it is no longer just a place for people to view online when they're sick, but it's a place where people get to find a community where they start that journey of their faith. And I want to see that continue, and just being more personal, online, I think has been a real big goal with starting some, online welcomes and stuff. And along with that, it's going to come some technology struggles. But I just love to see the ministry continue to unfold and be able to minister through the use of our technology. I think glorifying God be the number one, but ministry being right there after it.
Yeah, and I think that we've experienced new ministry growth for that glory of God with the podcast starting and with, like you said, the live welcome. There's definitely a feel of you're bringing those who are online into your home almost, of like, this is a place where we want you to relax. We want you to take part, join us, pull up a chair, sing with us, things like that, that I have been really excited to see. And I know from talking with Baker that that's something that excites them as well. And so to see the team rally around this is a huge legacy, Austin, and I'm proud of you for bringing that to the forefront, because I know that you have spent a lot of time telling your team, I want you to be here to worship and to work, not you're here to work only. And I think that part of their spiritual growth is happening because of that. So well
Absolutely.
done.
And one thing about that, I have been asked, how do you train up your team? And, I say, well, the first thing they need to do is come and worship, because that's how they understand what we do, but more importantly, why we do it. If they don't understand why we're worshiping and what the things are within our worship service, then they're not going to understand any of what they're doing in that booth.
Absolutely.
Or even during the week when we record things. If they don't understand why this person's saying something, or, they need to know. And so I think that sharing is more important than anything.
Exactly. How can people get involved in the ministry moving forward?
Yeah, and that's the glory of the technology ministry, is that there are people who are on all different levels of understanding technology, and there's a place for all of them. And so if you just want to come back and press the space bar and watch the lyrics go by, that's awesome. If you want to program the lyrics because you have that ability to understand it, you're welcome. If you understand, audio and how things should sound, there's a spot for you. I know a lot of our gamers or even children love doing the cameras because to them, it's fun. It's just an enjoyable experience. But yet it also glorifies God in that. So if you're interested, all you got to do is reach out and ask, because anybody from the tech team will tell you we have a lot of fun.
Yeah, you most definitely do. And I would also add, getting to know the Tech Booth team. So often, we see, they're going to the Tech Booth and then they come down and we don't get a chance to really get to know them. But there are great individuals on the team too that really make the ministry possible, and to get to know them and get to know their heart for the ministry, especially as we're bringing on a new director of technology that grew up into the ministry and into this role through volunteering just like you did.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes it might seem like we're hiding or we're running away, but truly we're just trying to minister. Like if we're running upstairs, it's because we're doing live welcomes and talking with the people online. Or sometimes we're just running to pray together in the office together. So we're always doing something that's important for God's ministry. But yeah.
Absolutely. So is there anything else that you would want to encourage the congregation with a story or something about the ministry that you really want them to know?
I think it's important, we support each other in everything we do, and that's the awesome thing of a church family. And so just keeping an eye out on what we're doing, give ideas and thoughts. If you see something and you say, hey, I want to do this, come on right ahead. We're excited to try new things. And, just, support us everywhere you are, even if that's showing somebody, a friend, our online service or a video we made recently. That stuff not only shares what the tech group is doing, but also the ministry of the church. And I think that would be really awesome.
Absolutely, absolutely. This series that we're doing is because of the tech team. But even more so, it's because of the gifts of the tithes and offerings that you as a congregation have invested in. We see it as cameras and lights and being able to hear online what's going on, or even in person being able to hear the choir and myself. But really, this is a ministry that is equipping the next generation on how to share the gospel. And it's because of the gifts that you are giving as our congregation. So as I thank Austin for his service and as I thank his team, I also want to thank you for being part of the tech ministry by investing in this and investing in our future leaders as well. So I would invite you now to stand in body and in spirit as we sing our doxology. Would you stand?